You ever notice how some characters completely drain the tension out of a movie or show, while others, who may be just as powerful, make things even more intense? Today, we're breaking down why overpowered characters often fail, and how some stories manage to make them work anyway. Because the problem isn't power itself, it's how that power is used. Let's start with the primary issue. At its core, tension comes from uncertainty. You need to believe something could go wrong, but the moment a character feels unbeatable, the uncertainty disappears. The need for risk, that uncertainty of, maybe this character could actually lose, or else it happens.
Kal-El, no!
The story falls flat. A perfect example of this is Captain Marvel in the MCU. In her standalone film, and especially in Avengers Endgame, she's portrayed as overwhelmingly powerful. She flies through ships, destroys entire fleets, and barely struggles. Take the final battle in Endgame. While every other character is fighting for survival, Captain Marvel casually flies through Thanos' ship like it's nothing. Everyone else fighting for their lives while Captain Marvel is playing creative mode. There's no build-up, no real resistance, and because of that, instead of feeling more intense, the moment feels almost effortless. Now compare that to Iron Man in the same movie. He's weaker, way weaker, but every move he makes feels risky. When he faces Thanos, you feel the danger, and that's the difference. Power removes tension unless something else replaces it. Another example is Superman, specifically in Man of Steel. Superman is nearly invincible, and the film leans heavily into his strength, but the fights become long sequences of destruction without clear stakes. Buildings collapse, cities are destroyed, but because Superman himself isn't really vulnerable, the tension shifts away from him. Like, you get to a point in the movie, who are we even rooting for, the buildings? Because you're not wondering, will he survive? You're just watching a spectacle. Zod and Superman fighting like two toddlers in a Lego city. Now compare this to The Dark Knight. Batman is far less powerful, but every confrontation with the Joker feels unpredictable because Batman can lose. And more importantly, the Joker attacks things Batman can't control. His morals, his choices, that's where the real tension comes from. So does that mean overpowered characters never work? Not at all. They just need a different kind of conflict. Let's take a look at Homelander from The Boys. He's completely overpowered, stronger than everyone, faster than everyone.
I'm the upgrade.
No one can realistically beat him in a fight, but the show doesn't rely on physical tension. It shifts the focus to psychological tension. Take the airplane scene. Homelander could easily save people, but he chooses not to. Homelander really said, "Not my job" description. Suddenly the tension isn't can he do it, it's what will he choose to do. That unpredictability creates fear, because the danger isn't whether he wins, it's who he decides to hurt. Another great example of this is Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen. He's basically a god. He can manipulate matter, see time non-linearly. He's untouchable, so the story doesn't try to create tension through physical threats. Instead, it explores his detachment from humanity. There's a key moment where he says, "I'm tired of Earth. These people." That's the real conflict. Not whether or not he could be defeated, but whether he cares at all. Bro unlocked God mode and immediately lost interest in the game. That emotional distance becomes the tension. Now let's take a look at a character where intelligence, not strength, creates the same problem. L from Death Note. At first, L is really compelling. His intelligence creates tension because it's matched by Light's intelligence. Every move is a chess match. Take the early episodes. L narrows down Kira's location through controlled broadcasts.
Although this was announced as a worldwide broadcast, the truth is, we are only broadcasting in the Kanto region of Japan.
It's smart, calculated, and most importantly, it feels like a fair fight. But as the series goes on, something shifts. When characters become too smart without limitations, their deductions start to feel unrealistic. Instead of tension, you get inevitability. This man could have zero evidence, just vibes, but he'd still be right. They figure things out because the plot needs them to, not because the clues logically lead there. And when that happens, snap. The audience disconnects. So in all, what separates a good overpowered character from a bad one? It comes down to 3 simple things: limitations, consequences, and focus. First up, limitations. Even the strongest characters need rules. Take One Punch Man. Saitama is the definition of overpowered. He literally defeats every enemy in one punch. Like, imagine training your whole life just to get one-tapped by some bald guy. But the show works because it limits him in other ways. He's bored, disconnected, searching for meaning. The tension isn't about the fight, it's whether anything can make him feel again. Second, consequences. Power should come with a cost. In Chronicle, the main character gains telekinetic abilities. At first, it's exciting, but as his power grows, so does his instability, and eventually that power destroys him. And that's a solid reason why you don't give superpowers to someone who just discovered anger. The tension comes from watching that downward spiral. Went from "this is kinda cool" to "this is definitely a problem" really fast. And finally, focus. If your character can't lose physically, shift the conflict somewhere else, into relationships, morality, identity. That's why characters like Homelander and Dr. Manhattan work, because their stories aren't about winning fights. They're about what happens when nothing can stop you. So next time you're watching a movie or a show, pay attention to this. If a character feels too powerful, ask yourself, what's the actual conflict? Because without one, even the strongest character in the world can make a story feel completely powerless.